So, we are about 10 days away from the premiere episode of Attack on Titan, the final season, aka Season 4. I just want to throw this out there. It is kind of being rumored out there, thrown out there that it's going to be Season 4 Part 1 or the final season Part 1. We'll see what happens with that. But before the promised day gets here, I want to briefly kind of talk about, discuss, and give you guys my expectations for this final season of Attack on Titan. And of course, I want to get you guys' thoughts and what are your expectations for the final season of Attack on Titan. That's the main question here. And I want to start it off by saying that I'm keeping my expectations in check. I would say I'm somewhere in the middle. I don't have like the super highest expectations for this final season of Attack on Titan, but I also don't have the lowest expectations. And really what this reminds me of, and not even with my own thoughts and like my opinions, but just the community as a whole and the discussions around this final season of Attack on Titan, doesn't it remind you guys a lot of One Punch Man Season 2? Now, obviously, we have a different studio, we have different staff and all of that, but just the talk, the general talk about it, right? And just the expectations. I feel like a lot of that, because I feel like I was saying the same thing about One Punch Man Season 2. Like, I don't have high expectations, but I don't have low expectations. I guess we'll wait and see. And that is, there is a big wait and see approach here, honestly, with the final season of Attack on Titan. But I feel like from a story perspective, I have really high expectations, like definitely, because of how season 3 left off, where we're going, the time skip. There's a lot of things there, obviously, that I'm really looking forward to with the final season. So I have high expectations for the story, I would say. Where some of my worry, I guess, or uncertainty comes is with the animation, the art, the overall production quality or production value. This is a big red flag to me when it was announced that Mappa was going to be taking on Attack on Titan, and it came out that there was no other studio in the whole industry. There was no other studio that wanted to take on Attack on Titan. When I saw that, I was just like, geez, like it's that bad? This is what I was asking myself. I was like, it must be, geez, I can't even imagine, right? Obviously, I'm not in the position of anyone at Wit, but I mean, it was something that was coming out while Wit was at the helm, especially in the later seasons, just the conditions, the circumstances, the deadlines they had to meet. And it really started to show, with the later seasons. Obviously, we still had high moments, but a lot of that started to show when you compared some moments in art and animation in season 2 and season 3, even in comparison to season 1. So this is something that has been talked about a lot. But I was like, man, it's really that bad. And a lot of other people's first reaction, instead of like me personally, like I said, I was just like, geez, it's that bad. People are like cheering, like, whoa, Mappa saving Attack on Titan, like, they're goated, like they're the best studio ever, which Mappa is a solid studio, don't get me wrong, but personally, it's just like, what are these people, like, we don't even know, right? I would assume they're going to have to go kind of through, I don't know if I'd say hell, but they're going to have to go through so much just to meet these deadlines, right? To get this stuff out by December 8th and beyond for this final season of Attack on Titan. A lot of people, unfortunately, do not look at it that way, right? They like I said, they look at it and be like, "Oh, Mappa saving Attack on Titan, they're saving anime, right?" Like, which by the way, we still would have had Attack on Titan in the final season even if Mappa didn't pick it up. The producers and the big wigs and a lot of the other people behind Attack on Titan would have they just would have had to wait until another studio kind of came to it about animating Attack on Titan. So I can't really blame Mappa, essentially, because if they didn't take it up, they felt they were the most fit. They feel like they can handle it, although they're going to be pushing their employees and their staff to the limit. Really, they are. They felt probably like if they didn't get it now, that they probably wouldn't get it in the future. That was probably their thought process, honestly. So I really, like, in a way, I can't really blame them, but I mean, geez, this leads me to, like, I think there's going to be a lot of high moments in Attack on Titan in the final season in terms of the production quality. I really think there are. I think there will be a lot of high moments. I think there's going to be low moments as well. I think there's going to be a bit of in between. I think there's going to be a bit of everything. But I don't think this is going to be some crazy good, all-rounded production like we saw with God of High School and like we saw with Jujutsu Kaisen, like we're seeing right now with Jujutsu Kaisen. And say what you want about the stories of those two series, of the pacing, especially with like God of High School, because Jujutsu Kaisen's been pretty good, but like the pacing and just the writing behind behind God of High School was not that good in my opinion, and that goes a lot to say just how much script writers and other, not animators, but just other positions really matter when it comes to it. Because God of High School, the pacing, in my opinion, was all over the place. But from a production standpoint, like, it was really good. Same thing with Jujutsu Kaisen. I do not think we're going to have the level of that production with Attack on Titan, the final season, in my opinion. Like, looking at the staff, it seems like they have some very veteran staff members there, some people who have been in the industry for a while. They have some fresh, new blood as well coming in there. I feel like they have a good mix with, the animators and the staff on the final season of Attack on Titan. Maybe we get some guest animators and some people come in to help. I feel like that would be, really cool, because the director does have some connections, and there are other people on the staff that have connections. So I feel like that is a possibility as well. But they're really, there's a few names, but there's really not, anyone that really stands out to me super much in comparison to what we had with Wit Studio, right? And some of the staff that they had working on Attack on Titan, which they're moving on to big and better things and more original stuff, which I actually am really excited for the future of Wit Studio and just the freedom, right? The creative freedom that they're going to have now with a lot of shows. And it's already showing. It's definitely already showing, I would say 100%. But we'll see what happens with that. Another thing that I wanted to bring up, Hiroshi Seko has been on Attack on Titan forever, and he is still there, and he's one of the main writers on Attack on Titan for the episodes. I have not personally saw Yasuko Kobayashi's name mentioned with the final season of Attack on Titan. I hope she is on the final season, because she's been one of the main writers alongside. It's been her and Hiroshi Seko, pretty much. It's been the two of them that have been the main writers for the episodes of Attack on Titan. So I'm wondering, I haven't saw her name. Like I said, maybe I've been looking in the wrong places, but I have not saw her name attached to the final season. I would hope she's on the final season of Attack on Titan, but I have not saw her name personally. So if they're going to have a new writer come in, or maybe it's just going to be Hiroshi Seko, I'm not really sure. But if they're going to have a new writer come in, that might be a cause for concern as well. But we'll see. We will see. But with a lot of this, I'm keeping my expectations in check. I think the story is going to be phenomenal. I really do. I think I'm really going to like what we're going to have going forward. I don't know a lot of what we're going to have. Obviously, there's probably going to be a lot added on to the big reveals we had at the end of Season 3. There's just so much to look forward to in that regard. But from the other standpoint, from a production standpoint, the art, the animation, and how all of that flows, the fluidity to it, I'm a little concerned. I think there are going to be high moments. There's going to be low moments. There's going to be a bit of everything, honestly, when it comes to this. A lot of this really does remind me, which I would say Attack on Titan has a better story than One Punch Man overall, obviously. But this really does remind me of the situation with One Punch Man Season 2, honestly, in a lot of ways. So I want to know your guys' thoughts and opinions on this matter, taking into account everything that I've talked about. Maybe a lot of you guys already kind of knew of this information, about this information, but if you didn't, maybe have your expectations kind of changed. I'm not trying to push my expectations on you guys or anything like that. I'm not trying to say you guys have to keep your expectations in check, because we're all our own people. If you have high expectations, you have high expectations. I'm not saying you can't have high expectations, or I'm not saying you can't have low expectations. I want to hear from everyone. I want to hear kind of everything. What is your guys' thought process about this final season of Attack on Titan? Now, obviously, a lot is still shrouded in mystery. There's a lot we haven't saw. We haven't got a new trailer. We haven't really got much, honestly. So a lot of it is a wait and see approach as well. But we'll see. The time is coming very, very soon for Attack on Titan in the final season. Let me know what you guys thought of the video, and let me know what you guys thought of what I talked about in here. If you guys like more videos like this, kind of just like an open discussion, not really scripted, but just kind of like a free way of talking, these kinds of videos, definitely let me know down in the comments below, and we could probably do more of these in the future. And yeah, that about does it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you for watching. Peace out.